Hi Wine Club members, I'm here with Valter Fissore from Cogno winery. In this beautiful setting, we're here in Novello at their winery. And we are going to talk about Anas-cetta.
Yeah.
Is that the correct pronunciation?
Right.
Okay. Can you say it?
Anas-cetta. Anas-cetta.
Anas-cetta.
Anas-cetta.
Okay. But the grape is Anas-cetta. I couldn't not choose this wine for your white pack because, as you know, we did a mixed pack of just white wines from Piemonte.
Right.
So of course you have to put a Nascetta in a white from Piemonte.
Yeah.
And if we're going to talk about Nascetta, we have to talk about Cogno and this particular wine because you were one of the first to make this wine, right?
Absolutely.
So you have a really interesting story.
Thank you for this interview. I am so excited. No, because when I spoke about Nascetta, I feel a lot of emotion because I spent really 30 years of my life behind this grape, and when talk about Nascetta, I remind many steps of my life. And we started to produce Nascetta in 1994, thanks to Cogno, that introduced me in this world.
So Cogno is your father-in-law, was your father-in-law.
Right. Because I had the possibility to taste Nascetta 86 in 1993. It's the first time that I tasted Nascetta from old viticulture of Novello that produce artisanal production. And in this tasting price of this wine.
So on the bottle there was already written Nascetta.
Nascetta 86,
okay.
Yes. And the wine was really fresh and not oxidated, and that surprise made me a great surprise. And also to my father-in-law, and say why we don't replant into this grape, because here a wine so beautiful in Piemonte, white wine so beautiful. It's a wine so unique and is full of history, plenty of history. And 100 years ago, this is a grape that was cultivated in Novello. We have a lot of manuscripts show the history of this grape.
So what happened? It was more common to be planted a long time ago, and then they used it with blends.
It probably was blended with Moscato a little bit, because it was a sweet wine.
Okay.
This wine initially was considered il vino della messa.
Okay, like the wine for mass.
300 years ago, everybody knows Nascetta in Novello.
And it's scientifically proven that it's originally from
in the manuscript we talk about 90% of Novello and a little bit Monforte. And anyway, then in 1994 we decided to begin our vinification of this grape, and we bought all grape available in the commune. We bought around 1,000 kilo. Bringing a basket in one place, a basket in another place, so it was a really hard work. And produced initially 900 bottles in 1994.
Wow.
At that time, as you know, this wine was not DOC, was is a one table. And from that years, we started a big study from the University of Turin and study from Istituto di Cultura di Asti. I get that to them 100 kilo for each to see what's the results. What was the results?
Right.
And in the end, we find a wine so beautiful that we continue, and then we started this long process to get the recognized grape in the national list, Italian national list. That was arrived in 2000. Okay, 2000. So since 94, 2000, we were clandestine. Yeah.
So you just
We
had
cannot
one
make-
day beyond?
No, Villa Tavola.
You couldn't even sell
No.
it. Wow.
Okay. It's important to explain to you all the steps that were at DOC from 2010. You know? Because in the beginning it's Vino da Tavola, not recognized. Then we have recognized the grape in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
In 2004 was scripted in Lange White.
Okay.
But that was not enough for us because Lange White means a large area. Yeah, you can have inside whatever you want.
Right.
So for this reason we pushing the authority, the consortium. Really was a fight
You
with
really
everyone,
believed in this
with
wine.
everybody and every.
And it's incredible also to think, you really had to love this grape to go through that process and to have a white wine in the Barolo area.
Yeah.
Probably many people were like, non vale la pena, it's like not worth it.
No, we are
you
concentrated
really
for
believe-
Novello. I have done for Novello because Novello, first of all, initially was not so the famous Cogno for the Barolo, and that feel me very sad.
Yeah.
Because Ravera, I know perfectly what we get about the Barolo with this crew.
So now this is a DOC.
When the variety was scripted in the national variety, authority variety, Nascetta was not. You cannot write the name of the grape on one table by law.
Right.
Okay. And since that time we have a problem. For the reason I need to put the A in front, Anas-cetta.
Okay.
Okay, for change the name.
So it becomes like what they call the fantasy name.
Yeah, but honestly, in past called Anas-cetta too.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I put only the A in front because
And
I make a lot of work to have a recognition of this grape.
It reminds you of the past and what you had to go through. So it's just a DOC right now.
And 2010 sarà il DOC Anas-cetta di Novello. Anas-cetta and Anas-cetta di Novello. A special mention for us.
Exactly. So on this label you'll see DOC Anas-cetta del Comune di Novello. So when you see this on the label, you know it's a true Anas-cetta because it's coming from this town. But it's becoming more popular now, so maybe there'll be more quantity of Anas-cetta.
Anyway, the mention Anas-cetta di Novello means that our Anas-cetta are different law of production, rules of production. For example, Anas-cetta di Novello we can produce only 9,000 kilo for hectare. Instead, Anas-cetta 10,000 kilo for hectare. Okay. And in the Lange, as you know, there is the possibility to blend 50% of other variety, authorized variety. In Anas-cetta di Novello, del Comune di Novello, 100% Anas-cetta.
Okay.
This is the difference. That is the point.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so tell us about what the characteristics are of Anas-cetta, generally speaking. Personally, I feel like, you guys were the pioneers together with maybe one other winery from Novello. And as I've been discovering Anas-cetta and I've been tasting Anas-cetta, I've seen a lot of differences between one Anas-cetta and the other, one winery and another. And maybe this is because it's still relatively a new wine and people are trying to understand, is it better in stainless steel, a little bit of oak, bâtonnage, different methods of how to make the top, example of this wine. I don't know if you agree.
I make a lot of experimentation for this wine. In the beginning, we started, we do maceration, cold maceration, wood, no wood, malolactic, no malolactic. So I try in 30 years, many different, 26 years, sorry, a lot of different vinification to get the best way to do Anas-cetta. So I think that now we have a lot of experience about this wine. Anas-cetta is a white that don't have too much acidity. It's a Mediterranean white wine. So it's quite aromatic. It's considered semi-aromatic grape. The reason that we decided to save this grape was the characteristic to age so well. It's not a wine that gets the best age after 1 year, 2 years. It's much better after 3, 4, 5 years.
Even if it's aged in stainless steel.
Yeah. That is not a problem. When it's young, show more characteristic of like Vermentino character, is a bit more herbs, Mediterranean herbs like sage, rosemary, a little bit of white flower, acacia flower. Depends on the vintage, of course. And then in the second phase of his life, the wines develop a little bit in minerality, in a stony character, a little bit more flint notes, more Riesling character, you know.
I was just gonna say,
Chenin Blanc, Riesling, a little bit. Also depends on the vintage, but some vintage show a little bit also character like Viognier, like 18 was more Viognier, for example. But other vintages, for example, I remind the cooler vintage like 2002, it became more near the Chenin Blanc character, or Grüner Veltliner too. A little bit of chamomile flowers, or a little bit also pineapple character. Pineapple.
That you're talking about, not just the simple fruity.
No, it's a wine very complex. More, I love the wine white with the more tension, with more linearity, and wines that make me emotion, you know.
Right.
And Nascetta don't have this higher acidity, but another characteristic of Nascetta is the minerality that you have in this grape.
Excellent. And I know one other thing about a challenge of Nascetta is in the vineyard, right? That it's
absolutely all challenges come from the vineyard, not only for the wine, mostly for the variety.
Because it's inconsistent in yields, correct? The reza.
The production is very inconstant. Yeah, exactly. This probably was one of the reasons that grape disappears. Nascetta is a wine for food. Not on, for me, it's a very flexible wine paired with food. I love Nascetta not too cold, around 12, 11, 12. And for me, I love Nascetta with fish, of course, but also sushi I love, with tuna. But I love also with vegetable grill, like tempura, is fantastic. Or white meat is good too. Very
so
good.
Very non-Piemonte food.
I like with not Vitello Tonato, because Vitello Tonato is not good for any wine, in my opinion. Fantastic dish is zucchini, fiori di zucchino fritti.
Yes, fried zucchini flowers.
With Nascetta is lovely. Try.
Okay, I will. I'm really excited to be here with him because he's so famous for Nascetta, and we're really happy that you could have the chance to try this. I think there's no better person, no better wine to experiment with tasting your first Nascetta than Cogno. So hopefully you like it, and let us know. And drink this with some sushi or zucchini flowers, I guess.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Wine Club members. And we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Find your